Welcome to your Habiwebinar session in Language Labs. My name is Perla Rosales, and today we will be talking about how to describe a process to a customer. This is part of a larger topic that is called customer service. Now, you might wonder, why is this so important? Well, think of customer service as the friendly face of a business. It's like when you visit a friend's house and they welcome you with a smile and they offer you a seat. In the business world, customer service is all about helping people, just like how a good friend will help you when you need it the most. Now, again, why is this important? Imagine you are in a new city and you need to find your way around because this is the first time that you are here. Who would you turn to for help? You might ask for directions or advice from someone who knows the area well, right? Well, in business, customers often need guidance too, whether it's knowing more about a product or service, understanding their options, or resolving an issue. Customer service is like being that helpful guide for customers, like a good friend. It's about making them feel comfortable, valued, heard, just like you would want to feel when you're asking for help. When customers feel taken care of, they are more likely to trust you or your organization and continue doing business with you. So today we're going to learn some key phrases and skills that will help us provide excellent customer service in the business world. Whether it's welcoming a customer, assisting them with their needs, or making sure they feel heard and understood, we'll discover how to be the best guides we can for our customers. So, are you ready to start? Let's start this journey. Okay, so we are talking about how to describe a process to a customer, but we should mention something relevant here. What is the difference between a customer and a client? Well, a customer is usually a person that buys something from a shop. It could be a clothing store, a restaurant, even an online shop. So they exchange money for a good. On the other hand, a client is somebody that pays for a service, a professional guidance from someone that has expertise, for example, a lawyer or an architect. So, what happens with banks? We would think that if the bank provides a service, then everybody is a client, right? Well, not exactly. Banks have both. So customers are the people that pay for a basic type of service or product. For example, they open a savings account, they need a credit card, maybe they are making some cash deposits or withdrawals from the ATM. So this is like the daily life type of transaction that happens in a bank. On the other hand, bank clients are people or organizations that have a more complex type of relationship, maybe a high profile type of relationship. Maybe they are using insurance or private banking, or they have investments portfolio. So the type of relationship that they have with the bank is one that is way more complicated, and they will probably have this relationship for a longer time. Not in all cases, but this is common. So during the rest of the webinar, we are going to be talking about customers, but of course, this could be adapted to clients depending on each case. So we mentioned during our introduction to this Habiwebinar that we are going to have a friendly approach to help our customers. However, it is very important that even though we are being friendly, we are also professional. So the customer can feel comfortable because we are being formal enough without being too distant. So we are going to make some tweaks, some little changes to the normal interaction we would have so it can become professional and have a higher register in vocabulary and skills. So the first thing, of course, is to greet our customer, right? So we are going to divide our greeting in three parts. First part, saying hello. Second part, introduce yourself and your place in the company or organization. And number three, deliver the turn of speaking. So I am going to show you an example of this. Hello, good morning. My name is Perla Rosales and I work in the academic department at Avile Professional Language Services. How can I assist you today? All right, so now I am going to show you a second example for a different type of company. Hello, welcome. My name is Laura Smith and I work at Brazilian Bank. How can I help you today? All right. After a good greeting that welcomes the customer to our business, we are going to listen to what they need and, if necessary, asking follow-up questions. However, the questions need to be friendly, but not very direct. And also, you need to explain your reasons for that question. Our goal is to have our customer engaged, but also making them understand every step of the process in a very precise and clear manner. So I am going to show you an interaction with an unprofessional type of follow-up question versus a second interaction with a good follow-up question. Hello, welcome. My name is Laura Smith and I work at the Brazilian Bank. How can I help you today? Hello, Laura. I would like to open an account. Okay, very good. What do you need the account for? Uh, um, I don't really know. I just need um a debit card. I might go back later. I have some things to do. But thank you. Thank you. Bye. As you can see, in this type of interaction, the question was too direct, even personal. So the customer immediately felt uncomfortable with the question. It is very, very personal to ask, what do they need the service for? So let's try a second way of doing it. Hello, welcome. My name is Laura Smith. I work at the Brazilian Bank. How may I assist you today? Hi, Laura. I would like to open an account. Of course. Can you tell me a little bit more about your needs? This is because we have several types of accounts, so we would like to offer you the ones that better adjust to what you're looking for. So if you don't mind, I would like to know a little bit more about your needs. Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. I would like to shop online. It usually asks for a debit or credit card number, and I don't really have one. Like I have the cash, but I would like to shop online, and I think that I need a card. So can I get a card? Okay, so as you can see in the second interaction, the question was less direct. It was basically the same question in terms of the type of information that we need, But by explaining the customer, what do I need this information for? They felt more comfortable sharing what are their needs for this service because the question was not as direct as in the first type of interaction. So, going back to this step, use follow-up questions after you listened to the customer's needs, but avoid being too direct and continue to be friendly. Now that you have explained your product or service to the customer and they have asked all the questions that they have, so they confirm that they actually want to acquire your service or product, it is time to actually explain the process. So, an important thing about this that is going to be very, very helpful for you to be very clear and professional is to use sequential words. These words are usually very short and they help us break down the process into different stages or steps. So words like first, second, third, next, then, finally, are very important for your customer to understand the sequence of steps that they need to follow. So again, we are going to see an example with unprofessional, very complicated type of explanation of the process versus breaking down the process into understandable steps. So yes, I think that a checking account would be good for me. Uh, they don't charge any fees, right? No, there are no fees. So if you would like to continue with the process, what you need to do is to provide some documents that are going to be very important. These documents are your identification. This could be a birth certificate or any ID that you have. You will also have to download the app and using a password that you remember, you can keep it in a safe place. And also, it would be good for you to bring proof of residency. We can take some electrical bills or whatever you have on hand. And finally, once you have downloaded the app and once you have all the documents that are required, we will see if your account is approved, and then you will be able to use your debit card by depositing certain amount of money. This is minimum, but it is very important to activate your account. So would you like to start with the process? Uh, it sounds it sounds very long. I don't know if I have the time right now, and I don't know if I meet the requirements. So let me think about it, and maybe I will go back later. Um, uh, so is there any website where I can check all the requirements that you just mentioned? Um, I'm sorry, I am kind of lost, and but it's just me. So if I could read about the process, that would be very helpful. Yes, you can check our website. So maybe do you have any piece of paper? I can give you a website, or you can just Google it. Okay, so there were several mistakes in this interaction. The process is complex. So by explaining the process, trying to summarize all of the steps, and doing it really fast without separating the steps in a chronological order, the customer service was not great because we could see that usually people will feel overwhelmed by all these complex ideas that they don't really know about, that they have never heard about before. So this is not a very good type of interaction. At the end, we can see that the customers feel they can feel pressured to continue with the process when they have not fully understood what is needed from them. So now we are going to check an example using sequential language and breaking down the process into um, different steps that are in chronological order. So yes, I think that I would like to open a checking account. Yeah, is that the name? Yeah, I would like to open one of those. Very good. So first, you will have to fill out a form. It is very easy. We just need your personal information, like your full name, your address, and a telephone number, so we can start your application for the account. And second, we will need you to bring some documents to prove your identity, your ID or a birth certificate. We will also need a proof of residency. This could be an electrical or gas bill. Maybe if you have other or someone in your family has credit cards that have your address in a bank statement, we can also take that. And um, next, once you have the documents, you will bring them, and we will deliver your application. And probably in a couple of days, you will receive the approval, and you will receive also your debit card. Then it will be necessary for you to make a cash deposit to activate the account. This can be done in an ATM or here at this bank, and the amount is minimum. You will be able to read all of this in your contract that will be delivered with your approval. And finally, you will download the app so you can change your password and also change your private identification number or PIN. So these two authentications are important so your account is safe, and we can help you out to download the app or whatever you need. Do you have any questions about the process? Yes, I do have a question about the proof of residency. Um, does it need to have my name on it? Because I live with my mom, so she does have some bank statements, but but they have her name on them. So could that work? Yes, of course. There's no problem as long as the address matches your ID address. It is perfectly fine. Okay, thank you very much. However, I don't have the documents with me right now, so I guess I should come back tomorrow or any other day that I have the documents, right? Yes, you can do that, or we can fill out the form with your application, and you can bring the documents later today or tomorrow. But we can start with the forms, and that way the process will be quicker if you want. Oh, great. That would be amazing. Yes, I would like to start with the process now. Thank you very much. So as you can see, in this second type of interaction, what we have was a way better explanation of the many different steps that the process has. And the sequential language helped us to break down the order of these steps. At the end, the customer, of course, have questions because that is very normal in a complex process, but the questions were addressed and they continued to feel guided and comfortable through their interaction. They can ask as many questions as they have as long as they feel confident that we are there to help them, that there is no rush to finish the process, that at that moment they are the most important person for us. If we rush the process into finish it as soon as possible because we have many other customers coming in, nobody's going to feel hurt and they are more likely to leave our business without actually getting our product or service. So it is very important that they feel that at that moment we are only listening to them, we are only helping them, and we are not rushing to finish the interaction so we can start with another customer. So take this into consideration so you can use the sequential language properly and you can include it in your explanation of the different steps. So after you have explained every single step of the process using sequential language so it is easier to understand, your customer will have many questions, or maybe they will need some clarification in certain steps. So you will provide any information that they need. But at a certain point, they will say that everything is clear. However, it is very important that you offer your help for later. That means that you can provide your telephone number, and if that doesn't actually work for you, you can remind them the schedules that the business has. So the working hours would be great. So they can come back later and ask any further question. You can also provide customer service telephone number so they feel that even if they leave the business, they will still be able to get the service that they need, that is professional, that is always available, and that is there for them to use. So after this has been clarified, you can still keep your customer engaged. However, be very polite if they say no. Because even if you did everything right, you were very friendly, you were very professional, and you made them feel comfortable all the time, it is probable that they will not get the product or service that day, or that maybe it doesn't meet their expectations, and that is perfectly fine. So try to keep them engaged so they can acquire your product. But if at the end they decide that it's not for them, be also respectful of that. So let's take a look at how this can happen. All right, so do you have any further questions about the account or any other service that you might need? No, Laura, thank you very much. This has been really helpful, and I think that I have an appointment today, so I will not fill out the form, but I will continue with the process another day. I will also discuss it with my mom to see if she's okay with me using this address because I don't know, maybe she will have an opinion on this. So I might get back later if that's okay. Yes, of course, that's perfectly fine. You will find us here from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Even if I am not here, you can find any of my coworkers and they will be able to help you as well. But if you would like to reach out to me specifically, here's my card, there's my telephone number, and I answer my business phone same from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Monday to Friday. So I really enjoyed explaining this to you. And if you have any more questions, you can reach out. We also have a customer service number. That is the second one that is in the card. So I will not answer that one, but you will find somebody else that can help you out in case you have any other questions later on. So thank you very much for coming. And if you don't have any more questions or comments, we can finish here. Yes, Laura, thank you very much. I hope we will see each other later and have a good afternoon. Sure, you too. Bye. So closing the interaction is just as important as starting it. So at the end, make sure that your customer leaves happy and satisfied with the service that you offer, and that you gave them as much information as possible so they feel comfortable to come back later or to ask follow-up questions later. So during this webinar, we saw some examples of interactions. However, this is the time for you to have more vocabulary resources so you can use them in many different situations. And this is the moment for you to take your notebook and take some notes or save the phrases for later. You can also pause the video and repeat the phrases until you can get the correct pronunciation. So regarding the greetings, that means saying hello and saying goodbye, we always have the classics, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, but you can add several parts to your greeting. So, hello, good morning, welcome to name of the shop or business. Or hello, good afternoon, we are very glad to welcome you to name of the shop or business. And in order to say goodbye, you can thank the customer for visiting you by saying, thank you very much for coming to name of the shop or business. Have a great day. So by adding more phrases to your usual greetings, you will make the customers feel more welcomed and closer to your organization or to your business by having a more personal interaction that feels welcoming and friendly. Then, regarding the questions that we can ask our customers in order to either ask for information or ask them to do something, it is very important that you remain polite by using modal verbs. The most common modal verbs that we use are would and could, and they follow more or less the same structure. For an easy approach, we use would you like to plus verb plus complement or rest of the sentence. So how does it look like in an example? Would you like to read the contract carefully? I can give you some minutes. Or would you like to try a sample? Or would you like to come back at a later time? As you can see, this is used to ask people if they want to do something, but in a more polite, more formal way. Now, could follows a similar structure for questions. So we have could plus subject, usually you as well, and then verb and complement or rest of the question. So Could you give me your telephone number? Or could you sign this form, please? By adding please at the end of these type of questions, you are going to show, again, a more formal type of interaction. Then recording the sequential language that helps us breaking down the stages of a process, we can use ordinal numbers, and these are first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. We could continue. However, during speaking, it's not very common to continue using the ordinal numbers when we are trying to explain a sequence of steps. So after the second or third, we are going to find other words such as then or next. And in order to close or state the final step, we usually use finally. There are other words that are connectors that can work in some cases, but not in all cases. So I recommend you to try first with these, and then you can look for some other sequence connectors or sequence words. And then remember that besides the vocabulary, the good use of English, or the resources that you have in terms of your pronunciation or fluency in the language, tone and the more personal interaction, the body language, the volume of your voice is very important. It is just as important as the use of the language itself, because the customers will try to understand the interaction in terms of how you look and how you approach them, because we know that communication is a lot about how we feel and how comfortable we feel by allowing the interaction. So be always polite, be always friendly, smile a lot, and make them feel that you really care about their needs, that you listen to them, and that you are willing to help them as much as you can. If you take into consideration these pieces of advice, I am really sure that your customer service will improve a lot, and that the back and forth interaction of asking questions and getting clarification on both sides will be way more successful. So I hope you enjoyed this Abby webinar. Come back for the next one, and I hope I will see you soon.